Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and I'm here today for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse content here on the channel, actually regarding Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. This is going to be a fun, silly sort of video where I'm going to review this article that I actually came across a couple of days ago. This is from 2019, written by Sam Stone on CVR. Yes, CVR, the notorious website. I don't think they're as bad as, like, Screen Rant, but they're similar, you know. It's the same idea, and I'm not, you know, taking shots at them, nothing against them, but, you know, they're very clickbaity with the stuff that they put out, and, I don't know, they put out some weird misinformation sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. I don't know a ton about, you know, the articles that they put out. I don't really follow them, but very curious to see what they had to say about a Xenoverse 3, or what information is actually being given in this, because the title of it is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, Everything You Need to Know. It's just so odd, like as if, you know, it's actually coming out, which obviously there's no confirmation of that. You know, there's a lot of ideas and evidence leading to potential Xenoverse 3 as an actual game coming out, hopefully. We'll see. I don't know, but let's just jump into the article. I'm gonna do a first impressions, sort of just like a review on this, and I'm no pro on any of this. It's just my personal take. So if you guys like this sort of video, let me know down below, and let's just try it out. So basically, they just say that Bandai's hit Dragon Ball Xenoverse series is a worldwide success, which we know, sold over like 6 million copies now or whatever. That's why they had the celebration and all that. So here's everything to know about the fighting game's potential third installment. So I think if you kind of scroll, it's just going to give you a history of it. You know, together, both, you know, Xenoverse games 1 and 2 selling over like 15 million units worldwide, which is absolutely insane. You guys know this is a very, very popular thing. So we'll get into the details right after. I want to look at the you know, TLDR or whatever that they have, because they have these on these websites. So the very first one, the first two Dragon Ball Xenoverse games were a massive success that practically ensured a sequel. Okay, obviously 3 years after Xenoverse 2, a third installment seems likely for a late release of 2019 and early 2020. So back in 2019, they were expecting this game to release as late or like a late early release, if that makes any sense. So as early as 2019, like late 2019, or as late as an early 2020. So the thing that strikes me is that we got an announcement of, I believe, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot back in, I think, January of 2019. Now at that time, we didn't know it was actually going to be Kakarot. We just saw it was Project Z, but when you look at the art and the promo for it, it did not look like it was related to Dragon Ball Xenoverse at all. We knew it was going to be an RPG, and it was going to be a brand new, you know, style of game. It was not going to be Xenoverse 3, because they would have just straight up put that it was going to be part of the Xenoverse series. There's no reason for them to say it's a project, you know, or whatever, something that they're working on without a title. And then obviously in, you know, June at E3, at the Xbox, Microsoft release or whatever, we had the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot official reveal title, all that good stuff, which was epic as hell. So it's just funny that, you know, they were thinking that this game would release at the time that Kakarot actually ended up releasing earlier this year. So I mean, I don't blame them. This is all, you know, like I said, from 2019. They had no idea, but it's just funny because we already knew that a game was coming out that was not Xenoverse. So that's just hilarious. For the third thing here, they say the end of Xenoverse 2 hinted that worlds of the first games could collide in a sequel. Now, personally, I see the ending as the infinite history sort of thing. So, again, I don't blame them for saying this. They seem like they didn't really play much of the DLC or whatever. Obviously, they're just going off of the base game, which is understandable. But, yeah, you know, you could always lead into another game right after this. You don't really even need hints or anything for a sequel. You just do it. They just make it. I mean, obviously they can do hints, but it's not really necessary. Addition to revisiting key Dragon Ball moments, the game could blend the worlds of GT and Super. Now, I guess that is definitely possible. Like I said, with the infinite history sort of thing, that kind of not really happened, but it blended all sorts of worlds. Like we had at the very end, I guess not necessarily like the very end, but there were points where we had like Tapion colliding with Trunks from Dragon Ball Super. There was Jiren, Goku Black, Zamasu. Yeah, it was a little bit nutty. It was kind of crazy. There was a lot of stuff going on, and they kind of did a GT Super sort of collab in the Infinite History with Goku and Vegeta, who whenever they, they like transformed or whatever, and people were upset because they didn't have like the Goku and Vegeta Whis costumes in Super Saiyan 4. They did something like that, so we kind of already got that, but I can see what they mean by that, like, oh, okay, we're gonna combine, and make it a full-on combination, not just like a little, reference or whatever. Fusion characters like Kefla are expected to play a big role in the game. Now that's funny. Okay, so this is in 2019. Was Kefla in 2019 or 2018? I think she was in 2018, right? I mean, I'm not saying that they're saying like that this character would release or whatever, but they're saying that she's expected to have a big role. That's just what? Like, why Kefla out of anything? I mean, she was a character back in, I think, 2018 DLC Pack 7 / Extra Pack 3. I think it was 2018 she released in around like July, August-ish, because we had DLC Pack 8, I remember, late that year, or early 2019 or whatever, because of the Broly movie. They were doing a promo for a Broly movie, so yeah, that's a little bit weird. I don't really understand that too much. Just like randomly fusion character, okay. The sequel could allow players to design their own customized android characters. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot, taking reference from Dragon Ball Heroes and stuff, but I don't know, man. That's a little bit weird. Let's go into the detail of the article. So their TLDR was very odd. There were some points in there that I do agree with, like, the android CAC sort of thing. That would be a cool feature. What do y'all think? I think, adding in at least one more race, especially for androids, they could do a lot with that. I think they could get real creative, or like a demon race or something like that, or angels, or like a Kai race. There's a lot of Dragon Ball Heroes stuff that they can put in there. So this right here, this is the very first like topic that they go over. What is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3's release date? So they're going based off of what was, given to us with Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2, which I think that is a little bit ridiculous, especially since this was posted in 2019, and we know for a fact that they just kept adding and adding and adding and adding more and more DLC. So it looks like they're saying like the sequel was released a little over a year after the original game in February 2015, which is true. They released it very early. Nobody was expecting a Xenoverse 2 that quickly. So that's why I can see why they would say like, oh, okay, maybe it would come out, eventually or whatever, like quickly, like pretty quickly or whatever. But yeah, it's just the announcement was in, the E3 at E3's Expo or whatever. Could lead to a possible release date time for the holidays. Another distinct possibility is a first quarter release for 2020. So that ended up not happening at all. Like I said, it was Kakarot. They're going based off of the Dragon Ball game releases, which I don't blame them for doing that. We had Fighters coming out in 2018, and then in 2019 I think we just got the announcement of Kakarot, so we didn't know anything about it yet or whatever, and then we ended up getting Kakarot in 2020 as an official release. So that's the thing, they're really good about at least hyping people up, having a release of a game, and then the following year or early that same year they'll have a reveal or at least an announcement saying, okay, this is the game to look forward to, we're working on it, and then they'll release it later that year or mid, the next year or whatever. So far, because of the COVID situation and everything, we haven't gotten anything. We just recently got the, second DLC pack for Kakarot, and, Xenoverse got, I'm assuming, its final potential free update sort of DLC content. Fighters still has 2 more characters left. The games still have stuff, so it's like, I don't know if they're ready. They feel like they're ready to make a new game, or if they're trying to hold off on it for a little bit. I think they are ready. I think they just need to, quit with Xenoverse 2 and start moving on to a potential Xenoverse 3, just the next arena fighter. That's my opinion, but you guys let me know down below as well. So, what will Xenoverse 3 be about? So, their interpretation is that in the final moments of Xenoverse 2's main story, Goku had suggested that the Time Patrollers seek out the Time Patroller from the original game to spar and see truly who is the strongest Time Patroller of them all. This suggests that the game could potentially be a combination of sorts between the original game and its sequel, with a vast Dragon Ball mythos as its backdrop. I don't know about that. Combining both games, that's what Xenoverse 2 was. In my opinion, that's what it was. It's literally everything from the first game that was expanded. The only thing that we didn't have was Demigraph, but, I mean, they did that, you know, Time Patrol pack or whatever, where, you know, you go to the previous game and all that. I don't know. It wasn't actually released on the console. I think they only had it on PC and Switch, but yeah, that's a little bit weird. Like, there's so many possibilities for what you could put in Xenoverse 3. It's like they chose something that was based on the ending of, like, the sparring thing. That's I don't think that was that important, but hey, you know, that's just my opinion. I think that they could expand more on, like I said, Infinite History. Infinite History is like the basis for what I want a Xenoverse 3 to be. Now, that's just, like I said, my opinion, but the original game saw Time Patrol Trunks, version of Trunks dedicated to maintaining the space-time continuum, enlisting the player character to the time-traveling villains Toa and Mira for manipulating the timeline. The sequel had expanded on that, as you guys know, while plot elements of Dragon Ball Super and GT have been explored. A sequel would likely merge these worlds and the alternate futures and other divergent temporal anomalies that are similar to the main timeline, but still have a few distinct differences as a result of tampering. Now, that right there, I don't want them to, you know, have anything to do with the previous, you know, arcs and stuff. Whatever that they've done already since, you know, both Xenoverse 1 and especially Xenoverse 2, whatever they've done, no more. I don't want anything that has to do with the normal timeline. If they want to get little elements and, you know, combine it with things like, I want heroes. I want a unique, you know, even if they make it heroes, like whatever they had for heroes in terms of the story or the story, make it something like that and expand upon that. Give us the details of it, because that was just a game. We didn't really get a full-on series. Like, base it off of the manga that was in Dragon Ball Heroes or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just get something fresh, and I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, let's get the Tournament of Power and throw in Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, as cool as that kind of is, I mean, it's like, I think that they could get more creative. I think if they just put more time into it, it would be good. I wouldn't be upset with it if they did something like, oh, let's do, like, the Fuse Zamasu arc or whatever, and have Tapion, like, thrown in there again. That was cool. Like, I'm okay with that, but I'd rather have something fresh. I don't know. So, for the characters, let's see what they have to say about the characters. So, just as Xenoverse 2 had a blah, 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 large, you know, character race, you know, you have your own races and everything that you can mess with or whatever. It says, given its hinted premise, players will likely have the option to import either or both of their custom characters from the previous games, which I agree, they should do that. While the first two games had given players the option to design their own Saiyan, human, Namekian, Majin, or member of the Frieza race, a sequel could add androids or deity figures like the Kais. Yes, absolutely, I agree. / angels or anything like that. You know, I know God of Destruction isn't a race or whatever, but, you know, give us a race like a... I don't know, what would you guys call that? Would it be God race? Just call it a God race and, like, have it be, like, some type of, like, animal type character, and then you can customize it or whatever to your liking and make them, like, I don't know, it'll appeal to furries. They love that kind of stuff. I don't know. You know, just have that in there. You can make, like, a bee race, or you can make, like, that one bunny rabbit looking character, or that one, like, lion looking character from, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes or whatever. So, as for villains, while Toa and Mira are likely to play a role in the continuing proceedings of the first two games, a new overarching villain could be introduced. Dragon Ball Super has introduced the concept of evil Kais themselves, tampering and destroying divergent timelines and stuff. So yeah. What I'm definitely agreeing with them is, I mean, I think Fu would be the basis of it. I think since they introduced him, people know him now. They know what he is. He's a neutral party. I like that. I like that as being sort of he's not a villain, but sort of like the main antagonistic kind of character. Even though he is a neutral party, he's still tampering with the timelines and doing everything on his own, you know, volition, like what he wants to do. You know, it's not like he's under anybody's control or nobody's telling him to do that. He just feels like doing it because it's fun to him. So I like that idea. If they want to get creative and make a new character, they definitely could. Get with Toriyama, get a new design for a character. They've done it before. Android 21, you know, they've done it before. They've done it several times before. Shallot, all that kind of stuff, you know. Oh, add Shallot in. Bro, add Shallot in. That's what I'm saying. So, possible changes. In addition to the new missions, refined combat, and new gameplay modes, Fusion is expected to play a major role in Xenoverse 3. The process of joining two separate fighters into a single, more powerful character played a major role in both Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Super Broly. It's fan acclaim, given that previous time controllers are expected to come together in Xenoverse 3. Fusion, either through the ritual, dance, or Patara earrings, would seem as a natural extension to this. Okay, so that clarifies it better. What they said in that article, saying something about, like, Kefla, since they said that, I was like, okay, so what? Vegito, Gogeta, Kefla, and Gotenks and stuff, like, like, I like those characters and everything, but what I like is what they said here is time patrollers. I want to see your Cax, your character, like your actual character that you make, have the ability to fuse with other characters slash, you know, main characters in the game. Have it something cool, like at the very end. Like, what if the final boss was like, you got to fuse with Goku? And, like, you know that one movie, the 4D movie, where Goku fuses with the audience? That was sick as hell. Like, that was dope. And, like, you know, have, like, a preset, like, just, like, a base preset of what the character would look like whenever they fuse. Like, if you're a Majin, you can fuse with Goku, and there's just a base preset. They can do that. It's very easy for them to do that. They made an algorithm in Dragon Ball Fusions to do that. And I agree with them if they have that as, like, sort of an awoken or something, or just something special at the very end. Even if it's a one-time thing, I think that would make it even more special, and I think that'd be a really cool concept. At the very end, the final villain, you get to fuse with, like, Goku, or if, like, you get to fuse with Vegeta or some shit, I don't know, you know, or Trunks, potentially Trunks, because Trunks always has a big role in this series. I think that would be an awesome idea or whatever. So, with the Dragon Ball franchise continuing to expand, a third Xenoverse would serve as the ultimate love letter to the entire franchise, including plot points and moments in its history not fully seen before, while remixing elements of franchise and blending them in new, interesting ways that see fan-favorite characters and ideas collide together for the first time. This right here is literally what I stand for with Xenoverse as a series and everything. Just the expansion of combining just the craziest outcomes and ideas that you can think of. You know, not necessarily like super hardcore ridiculous fan service, but, you know, to the point where you're pleasing a lot of people with these cool elements, like having fusion for CAC or adding a new race or something. Like, there's so much that they could do with this series because the series is so flexible. It's so flexible. That's like the big point about it. So for the most part, I will have to say they had some good points. Some things were weird, and I didn't really get why they would say that. But again, this was released in 2019, so I don't necessarily blame them. The really weird thing is just the fact that they're talking about, you know, the release date for this, potential release date. What they thought was that it was literally going to be when Kakarot released. I didn't think a Xenoverse 3 was going to be coming out or even really announced anytime early 2020 at all, like anywhere near that. Because I knew for a fact that Kakarot was going to be coming out eventually, you know, because we already got that announcement. But I don't know. It is what it is. You know, I will have to say I have a little bit more respect for CBR. You know, they have some good concepts and some good ideas. They definitely did some research, and they weren't just like, you know, completely blind with it. But like I said, there were some things that were a little bit weird. But I'm no pro on, you know, reviewing this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna, you know, like I said, I don't take this seriously. It was just a really fun video I wanted to try out and discuss. And hey, maybe you guys liked it too. I would love to know your own ideas about Xenoverse 3. It's just a fun discussion, and at the end of the day, I had a good time. So hopefully you guys did too. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys like this type of content with Xenoverse. I'm down to do more Xenoverse 3 speculation, and personally, maybe I'll do my own what I want for Xenoverse 3. Y'all have a great day. Please be safe and have an amazing Thanksgiving and holiday season. I'll see you guys